banks. We're getting into it. 2008, I think that was the greatest moment in capitalism. It proved that capitalism works, always will work, because a few people got very, very rich and a lot of fun was happened. You could roll dice as a career and get yourself a house. You could have Tim Dillon sell you one. Banks, do they look the other way when you're a criminal but you put a lot of money into their bank? I don't think so. I think they look the right way, and that right way is green, because green is not racist, it's not evil, it's not discriminatory. If you got the green, come, put it in our bank. If we get caught, we'll say we wish we didn't let this drug dealer have a bank account here. We wish we didn't let Epstein have a bank account here. But while it's happening, baby, let the orgy of good times and steaks continue. Welcome to the Yannis Pappas Hour. We're going to have a good episode today about banks.
It's a long day coming. It's about to be a really long day.
Right before we start this episode, quickly, I just want to tell you about my dates so you guys can buy tickets and come have an enjoyable evening in Pottstown, PA at Soul Joel's, June 24th, Boston, Massachusetts, June 8th, Poughkeepsie, July 21st, 22nd, Jordan Landing, Utah, I guess that's by Salt Lake City, August 4th and 5th, the Paramount Theater in Long Island, August 17th, Dallas, Texas, August 24th through the 26th for my birthday. Come spend it with me. Springfield, Missouri, September 9th, 7th through the 9th. Calgary, Alberta, September 22nd, 23rd. Fort Wayne, Indiana, September 29th and 30th. The Vogel in Red Bank, New Jersey, October 14th. San Fran at Cobb's, October 27th, 28th. Sony Hall, New York City, November 4th. Providence, November 10th and 11th. Phoenix, November 16th and 17th. Spokane, Washington, December 1st and 2nd. Tulsa, December 8th and 9th. Louisville, December 15th and 16th. And the Royal Theater in Toronto has been moved to March 23rd. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. These main episodes are really just an advertisement for our Patreon where we take it up a level. So support the cast, join the Fediverse, enjoy this app. Now, when you start the show by saying you're going to be having an episode about banks, you're going to get a bunch of people tuning in, ready to enjoy some anti-Semitic talk.
Yeah.
Not going to happen here. That's not what's going to happen.
Not at all.
Are you listening to me? YouTube algorithm, Google advisory committee. That is not what's going to happen here. We're not going to sit here and go down that direction. We are going down the direction of what happened in 2008 was good for people. We learned a very valuable lesson. The banks are innocent in this situation. 2008, there was a big banking crisis, purportedly initiated by the greed of lenders to continue to profit off of giving out loans and having security and knowing that the market was so good and there was such a frenzy to buy homes that even if they kept buying up, these corporations were buying up all their debt, even if people defaulted, there would be still more demand and they'd be able to resell their house.
It was all-you-can-eat buffet out of houses.
It was basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for houses, is really what it was. So who's to blame, really? I think it's the people. The people who wanted to live the American dream, because the American dream is evil. The banks are there to provide, okay? The banks is a gun wrong? Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Does fentanyl snort itself? I don't understand why there's so many conservatives mad at fentanyl. Does fentanyl snort itself?
No, it does not.
So then why are they mad at the cartels? Why are they so mad at the cartels? I don't understand. I don't understand why, if you're conservative, you're mad at cartels and drug lords across the border. Are they forcing that coke into your nose? I have a question.
Not at all.
I have a question.
They're just digging the tunnels under the border, but they're not forcing the coke into your nose.
They're not forcing the drugs across the border. The demand is, right? Do you remember when Michael Bloomberg, who was a Republican, in one of his most shameful acts as a Republican, wanted to regulate sodas in New York City? He wanted to say no more big gulps because he got out there and he went, guys, hi, I'm Michael Bloomberg. This is my daughter. I shouldn't be making fun of, this is my wife. This is my son. The thing about Jewish men, powerful Jewish men, is that are very smart, very successful, is there's a game you can play called Gay or Jewish Man. because they come from matriarchal houses, and there's just something where they're just kind of, they can be like that and then crush your nuts in business, and they'll do it like that. And it'll go, fucking, I'm Bloomberg, and it's going down. But yeah, I mean, he would have his loafers on, and he was like, listen, everyone's getting diabetes, and this is bad. It's a burden on the healthcare system. It's a healthcare session. And we should regulate this stuff. Nobody should be able to get a big gulp. And you know what Americans did? Americans rioted. They said, what the fuck? You want to take my big family-sized container of sugar water, of tropical fruit, which isn't a real fruit flavor, away from me? What are you, a commie? That's my freedom. If I want to spend half of my life in a wheelchair with swollen purple ankles and uncut toenails because I can't feel my feet, that's my business.
The only doctor I want to go to is Pepper.
Yeah, that's my fucking business. And all he was trying to do was to get rid of that obscenely big American... Dude, do you have... When you get a venti from Starbucks, is there any part of you... Is there any French or European part of us? When they come here and they order a coffee, like when a French comes here and orders a coffee and they go, can I get a venti? Or because that's their language or whatever, right? Is it in Latin or... Isn't that funny that we're supposed to be European pretentious with the sizes, call it venti or ponte or whatever it's called, but then they hand you a big gulp size coffee? Does anyone need a iced coffee the size of a beer cooler? How big is the venti?
It's huge.
It's
massive.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
20 ounces, I think.
it's for a family of 6.
It's bigger than our heads combined.
It's for a family of 6. And then the big gulps, I mean, the big gulps were like laughably big. It shouldn't, it's a crime. It would be a crime to give a 12-year-old. It's a crime. And here's the thing. I mean, you're supposed to go, the 12-year-old's personal responsibility. You can't regulate freedom. Don't even regulate. It's like he's 12. He's a dumb 12-year-old. 12-year-olds like Jared love sugar.
We love it.
I remember going to the candy store and I loved it, right? You don't know that what's being sold to you and marketed to you is cancer sugar water, is cocaine for kids in slushy form. You just know it tastes good, and you know it's refreshing because it's a hot day and it's got ice in it.
You give me some Fun Dip in the summertime?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we treated that like it was Ozempic.
Exactly. Yeah. How much sugar is in the average Starbucks drink, you might ask?
30 to 35 grams of sugar.
That's a lot of shug.
For reference, this is about 7 to 9 teaspoons of sugar, or just slightly less than the average amount of sugar in one soda.
That's because you have to say no classic. My wife told me they give you the sugar automatically. It's like the sugar in the McDonald's bread that you don't even know is there, right? Because they're addicting you. They know you're addicting you. Now, I don't know if people think that their reason or the marketplace or whatever is stronger than when people just give you drugs without you knowing it. But let me tell you something. You're not. Nobody is. Nobody is. The free market, laissez-faire capitalism, you're not going to be able to go, you know what, I'm just going to shop somewhere else. Why? Because you're going to be fucking addicted to that fucking Whopper. Have you ever had a Whopper after you haven't had a Whopper for a long time? It tastes good for 3 seconds, and then you feel like absolute dog shit. It's like the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm. It's like walking into your mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, it's horrific. It's an experience. It's almost as bad as that. I love my mother-in-law, though. But usually, yeah. And
great haircuts, by the way.
yes, well, sometimes. It's not easy to break up with your mother-in-law as a barber when she's like in the same house, and then you just keep coming home with haircuts. Eventually, there's just going to be have to have a conversation. Like, I'm seeing someone new. I don't know how to do this, but you know, your cuts were inconsistent. You know, it's an interesting thing. Like, you know, it's addiction. They're feeding you drugs. Why are they doing it? Because dude, it's the best thing for business. Nobody's ever explored the fact that like almost every advertisement and every company's trying to addict you. They're trying to sell you on the need for getting you on. Every social media company has turned their product into a drug.
It's the fastest path to more money.
And here's the thing. They are very aware of it. It's not like they're going like, whoa, really? So is that what they did a study and they found out that it's releases endorphins and dopamine hits? And
We didn't know that.
we didn't know. Cigarettes are going, really? We thought it relaxed doctors. We thought it relaxed doctors when they had to do all these house calls. We thought just pulling out a Camel and lighting it up right on the stoop after a doctor tried to do CPR on a dying 12-year-old with scurvy. And he just walked out tired. You could just picture him in his 1940s suspenders just sitting down on the front stoop of a city block in Chicago. And he sits down, he rolls up his sleeve, and he goes, and the wife, of course, because she's a good housewife in the 40s and 50s, even though her daughter just died in the arms of this doctor of scurvy, of plague, she still wanted to do the good housewife American thing and offer him some Jell-O cake. Would you like some Jell-O cake? And can I offer you some iced tea? And she'd come out with a little, even though the dead daughter's upstairs, she offered him a drink, and he'd be sitting there and go, yeah, and he'd pull out a cigarette, and she'd just light it up for him. She'd go, thank you, Doc. You did everything you could. And then, I did my best. Thank God I can relax with this Camel. Thank God I got my lucky strike. Even the name, Lucky Strike. It's a lucky strike. It gets in there. This is your luck. This was your lucky day. Look at these ads, Jared. These used to be legal ads. A health cigar. These are doctors. Look at that.
20,679 physicians say Luckies are less irritating.
Now, here's the best part. Look at this one. More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Now, here's the best part. The best part is this was after they completely knew that cigarettes kill you. Let the marketplace work itself out. Here's a good one. Here's a baby on a Marlboro, and it's a card. It's a fake Hallmark card. It says, "Gee, Dad, you always get the best of everything, even Marlboro." Now you're going, why is a baby in that ad? Oh, because it tugs at your heartstrings. You see a baby, it makes you feel good. Just like I just got that text, and it was horrific, and it was like a horror story, and I thought of my mother. That's how the subconscious works, and that's why advertisers work, because they are aware of our subconscious. They can get you to believe things that aren't real, that aren't true. So imagine you're sitting there, you're coughing, you go after you smoked a pack of cigarettes. Possibly you got high blood pressure, and you're sitting there and you're coughing, and you have this cognitive dissonance. You're going, man, it must be must be allergies out there. Right after you light up a cigarette, because the doctors prescribe and say this is good for me. So I wonder what this could be. Maybe it's genetic. Maybe I inherited. Maybe my wife's making me upset again. Maybe I need to go in and cure it by giving her a backhand in the kitchen again. Because last time I smacked my wife, I felt better. Last time I gave her a good backhand, the coughs just mysteriously went away. So it's got to be her. Eve ate the apple. It's really their fault. And the cigarettes are the good thing. For decades, people believe that because they're, here's the best part about advertising. They wouldn't lie to you on the sign, would they? Here's another one. Viceroy's, filter the smoke. As your dentist, I would recommend Viceroy's. Is there any better encapsulation of the evil of the advertising industry than old cigarette ads? This is the fucking LeBron James in Sprite of its day.
Yeah, it makes it seem like the dentist was paid off by the mob.
Yeah, and you know what's great, dude, is that study, like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but that study that sugar causes cancer came out like a couple of years ago, and nobody cared. It's very interesting. It's for some reason it didn't have the same effect as the cigarette industry. I guess because you don't cough after you drink a Sprite. You just become 300 pounds. But it's not a cough.
And sugar is so addicting that you don't care.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, cancer.net, I don't know if that's the best place to go, Jess.
No studies in people have shown that reducing sugar intake prevents or treats cancer.
Scroll
down. This message has been brought to you by the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah, this message has been brought to you by the Sugar Lobby.
It's true that sugar feeds every cell in our body, even cancer cells, but research shows that eating sugar doesn't necessarily lead to cancer.
Yeah, doesn't lead to it, but yeah, there's an indirect link. There is, however, an indirect link between sugar and cancer. Okay, however the Sugar Lobby wanted it to be worded. And that's the thing. Then there's lobby groups. So all these companies have PR arms and lobby groups that fight with the legislation.
They don't have arms because they got cut off.
They got cut off. Yeah. And so they go, okay, we'll settle with indirect link. Good enough for us.
Remember how long it took to take down the cigarette industry?
Oh, dude, decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came down to a dame with big titties, Erin Brockovich. Wasn't she the one that took him down?
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Who did she take down?
I never watched that movie.
No, that was another movie with Russell Crowe, the cigarette industry, I guess.
Julia Roberts was just very pretty back then.
She was very pretty. She does have a horse face, though.
A little bit.
Yeah, she looks like she'd give a teethy blowy.
Yeah.
Erin Brockovich, what did she take down? Who did she take down? She took down some industry. This is the part where the fans are listening on there and they're just screaming the answer. And we have to take minutes and minutes to find it out.
Pacific Gas and Electric Company, PG&E, involving groundwater contamination in Hinckley, California.
Yeah, so there's another. And listen, I mean, everyone in upstate New York has cancer. They're dead at 12 because all these companies dump their fucking chemicals in the Hudson River and they had to dredge it up. So listen.
There is a connect.
There's a connect, baby.
There is a connect.
There's a connect. Here's the thing. You can't always trust people to do the right thing. You can't always trust people to do the right thing because a lot of people just live out their lives with trauma and they don't really know why they want to be dominant and rise to the top to be CEO. Maybe it's just because they want daddy to give them a hug. And they don't do the proper EDMR work to figure it out. So these people project their evil onto others. Don't you think the world will be a better place if everyone just looked inward?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The solution is inward.
The solution is inward.
You got to find God within your soul.
The solution's inward. It's like there's so much we don't see and we don't know. I was looking at this picture of just this forest landscape, and my perception was there's nothing here. There's nothing alive here. And then I realized, oh shit, in the frame of this picture, there is trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of alive things. And that I was not even tripping. Thank God I wasn't, because I think I might have ended up in a mental institution. Thank God that I'm glad I was dead sober and had that realization, because that's trippy, dog. That's trippy when you're just looking at it and you're going like, there's trillions of things that are alive. I can't see any of them. Mm-hmm. How the fuck how does anyone act arrogant in this life when you can't even see living shit? You ever see a techachachan? A tetratrachakan?
Oh,
what?
The things that they say can survive in outer space and tetrachon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a Mexican dish.
No, or it's like or Amy Schumer. I think she can survive in outer space or any conditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's a survivor. I ain't gonna stop it. I'll work harder. I'm a survivor. They came to get her. They get a reputation joke. She's still out there hosting the Oscars. Hollywood don't care about that scandal. I'm a survivor. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to work harder.
As long as you got blonde hair and surround yourself with the best writers, you'll be all right.
Dog, her joke, her unoriginal compilation was about 3 hours and 15 minutes. And what I like is it was a diversified portfolio of unoriginal ideas.
She takes from everybody.
It wasn't just stolen jokes. It was sketches. It was movie posters. I mean, it was all around her.
Oh, look at this. She took a lie detector test.
She took a lie detector test. Yeah, I wonder who paid for that. Brought to you by the Amy Schumer lobby. I didn't know she took a lie detector test.
Guilty.
Yeah, no, she's not guilty, dog. She's a survivor. They try to take her down. And she didn't want to be in the Barbie movie because it was not feminist or something. Look, people give her a hard time, but let me tell you something. She is obviously like one of the biggest social justice. Nobody cares as much about society and not themselves as much as Amy Schumer. She's out there voting. She's out there talking to Hillary, getting to the bottom of what needs to be done.
Writing books.
To make this world a better place, to help disenfranchised people. She lives just a normal middle-class life out there with the people, walking down, high-fiving.
She's like Joan of Arc.
Dog, you can see her any day walking right through Bushwick, handing out sandwiches and turkeys like fucking Kwame Brown from New Jack City. What was his name? New Jack Brown or whatever his name is, handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving. Wesley Snipes. she's doing her thing, dog. And how did we get on her? How did we take a right turn on Miss Schumer? Because I was defending her, right? Because we're talking about advertising agencies, right? Or we're talking about whose fault is it, right? Whose fault really is it, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. If you buy a house, right? You buy a house, and let's say you're let's say you have a temp job. Let's say you have a temp job. You have a temp job, and you're also writing a novel, okay? And your parents say, we could lend you $4,000. Whose fault is it? Is it the bank's fault for saying we think you're good for this money? Or is it the person's fault for thinking that they can buy a house for $400,000 with a temp job and they're writing a novel?
It's the person's fault.
It's the person's fault.
How dare you dream big?
This is a free country. It's a free country. Am I wrong? Are we going to encroach on people's freedoms? The banks were freedom fighters. They were enabling people. They were dream makers. Okay? It would be like if Jared now, the year's 2008, and Jared now was like, you know what? I got to get out of my family home. I'm getting paid pocket money from Yannis Pappas. I'm going to show up to Banco Popular and see if they'll give me a loan to buy a 4-bedroom with a pool in Sayasi. And the bank says yes.
Yeah.
The bank says yes. Why? Because they're not racist. Because they believe in you.
They believe in you.
They believe in the American dream. They believe in freedom.
They're going to go, Mr. Harvard, you're going to play the live-action Miles Morales.
They say, listen, we know you may not be good for it right now, Mr. Harmon, but you will 100% be the new Jared Fowler. Jeremy Fowler. What's his name?
Jermaine Fowler.
Jermaine Fowler. He's a friend of mine. I don't remember his name.
You mixed his name with my name, but it's okay.
I mixed them into one person.
Yeah.
I mixed you and him into one person, which from a distance, it's not
hard
hard to do.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprisingly, I think you're taller than him.
I think I am.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I've made so many short jokes. There was a fan who said, I thought Jared was going to be shorter. He's actually not short.
I'm just 5'9".
You're just 5'9". All
Yeah.
right, you're pushing it. 5'8". And
I'm 5'9".
You're 5'9"?
Yeah.
Did you know that Michael Jordan was actually 6'4" and like a half? Yeah, he was measured for the Olympic team, and
Don't have him hear you say that because he'll take it personally.
yeah, but he's actually not even 6'6". They just listed him. They used to list Charles Barkley at 6'2", but he's actually 6'4". Everything is a lie.
Now you made Michael Jordan grow.
Comics who say they're selling out aren't selling out. Some people are telling stories, they're not their stories. I mean, everyone is full of shit, except me. No, we're all full of shit. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. We're taking the long road to get to what we're saying. What we're basically saying is what happened to the banks. We bailed them out because they were doing the right thing. They were doing the right thing. I don't know what you were doing. Why didn't you buy a house in 2000? Why didn't we buy houses? What were we making, like $800 a month in 2008? Yeah. Why didn't we buy a house? Why did we go rent a studio? Why did we say, you know what? Let's go to New Jersey and get like why don't we get a hype house? We should have got our own like TikTok hype house and called it the Ditch Lab. And they said, can we see proof or receipts? And I could have totally showed them a $100 bill that Joel sent me from a Soul Joel gig. And you could have totally shown whatever was in your fucking saved bank account. Yeah. We could have said, hey, we did one user-generated ad for Foot Locker for $5,000.
We were just pure Brooklyn trash.
And I mean, that's good. That's good for us. And we could have got one.
Yeah. And you didn't know Tim back then either. Tim was the one who was peddling all those mortgages.
I mean, dude, it would have been nice to know him in 2008. What was he, like 15? Just a 15-year-old kid?
Wasn't he selling all those?
Of course, yeah.
Out Long Island selling mortgages out of a van.
Yeah, we could have got a mortgage from Tim.
Here's the funny thing, though. A lot of people were. Because it was such a boom. It's like comedy now. It's like everyone was in it, right? And he's talked about that. He's like, that's how he knew it was. Oh, like it was a bubble. It was about to burst because he met some dude and he was like, "What are you?" He's like, "I'm selling mortgages." He's like, "All right, who isn't selling mortgages right now?" It's the same thing with comedy. When you turn around, they're like, "I'm a comedian." You're like, "Well, huh?" You're like, yeah, I guess we all are. With these pages, you can put shit up.
You were just making sewing videos on TikTok 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I haven't seen you at any shows. Like, yeah, listen, I was on a reality show. It took off. And then I started just doing man on the street interviews. And here we are.
And now I'm in a Planters commercial.
And here I'm just on stage. You know, they just put me up at clubs automatically. I went on for like a year and a half. I intimidated people into making me laugh. I do more public appearances, but my fans don't care. They don't know what good comedy is anyway. And that's a fair point. A lot of these people have fan bases that don't know what good comedy is anyway. Because listen, a lot of people eat Subway sandwiches. A lot of people eat fucking Domino's. Like we said, a lot of people eat McDonald's. They don't know what a good burger is either. They don't know.
And you can't blame them.
And you can't blame them. And I don't want them to know what a good burger is, because then they're going to demand a good burger. And then the good burger spots are going to be too fucking crowded with fat fucking mediocre people. And we're going to have to wait for our good burger. It's like what happened to the fucking spot that was good. In-N-Out Burger, they all got to shit now because everyone wants one. The word got out that it was good.
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to keep this podcast small, because it's good. We're a Lamborghini. It's not for only 4 of you who listen to Andrew Tate can afford to listen to this.
We're just a great New Haven pizza, and we're waiting for Dave Portnoy to put us on the map.
That's it. We are.
And by Dave Portnoy, I mean Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, anyone big.
We are.
Please, Shay Gillis, respond to Yannis' text. We need you.
Come on the fucking show. At this point, I don't even care if it's a comedian. Amy Fisher, you blew off your husband's face.
Yeah.
Come on here. We'll have you.
Mm-hmm. I'll take Larsa Pippen.
Yeah, or I'll just do like Legion of Skanks and have Martin Shkreli on there. I don't care. If you're fresh out of prison and you can make headlines, come on my podcast.
That came out of nowhere.
He was on,
No, I mean, he came out of nowhere.
It's a good, for them, you're like, oh, that makes sense. They have him on, and that's great. But yeah, seriously, the only people we appeal to are people who are part of Hustler University who know good stuff. That's our fan base. Our fan base is one. We share. I went on the YouTube thing and I saw the Venn diagram, the 2 circles. It was us and Hustle University. We were. That's our fans. So from now on, anything that we make, just always throw some sort of subliminal supercar in there. Because let me tell you something. We are 92% guy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who the 8% that listen to this shit are. I'm a weird, like some guys, there's other comedians who are good looking or whatever, or they act like, and women love them, and they, like me, I have to become a woman for women. I have to do a woman character to appeal to women, because there's nothing feminine about me as me.
Well, you know what they say.
I'm a guy.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, you can't beat them. Like, there's like a split. Whereas there's other comics who are just like, can get everyone. It's like, if I'm as me, it's like, if you go to if people show up to see my stand-up, it's just me, it's like 100% dudes. And then if I do a more recent show, it's like 100% chicks who drag their dudes there.
There's no middle for you.
You're like, look, there's 2 people in me. And it is what it is. It is what it is. So the 2008 financial crisis began with cheap credit and lax lending standards that fueled a housing bubble. Bubbles happen all the time in capitalism, right? It starts out as a thing, then it gets hot. Everyone rushes to it, and then it's too much demand, and the supply can't keep up, so they invent supply. It's essentially that, right, Jess? Mm-hmm. I just summed it up for stupid people, right? Something's hot. Something gets hot. Something gets fucking hot. Let's say let's do it in our business. Hannibal Buress gets hot. Hannibal Buress gets hot, right? Mm-hmm. Hannibal Buress gets hot. Everyone wants a piece of Hannibal Buress. And this happens. Hannibal Buress is not enough Hannibal Buress to go around. So a lot of people are missing out on Hannibal Buress. Now, they're not going to make any money because it's not going to work, because only certain things are going to work. But the demand, they were like, oh, he's so hot. They all need to give him stuff. And they're throwing, he's like, I can't take it all. I can't take it all. So the industry goes, we need to make some more Hannibal Burresses. Everyone wants Hannibal Buress. We need to make some more. So they make some more. They invent, and listen, it's not Hannibal Buress. It's not the real Hannibal Buress, so it sucks. Nobody buys it because it's not the real Hannibal Buress. But a lot of people's jobs keep going, and they get paid salaries because they're finding the next Hannibal Buress. And in the process, they completely kill art because they're looking for something completely unoriginal, and it becomes a bubble, and it crashes. But it started out with something very valuable. And so they ruin everything. And then the pieces get fucking all thrown together until fucking the internet happens, and then Matt Rife fucking does some scrunches and some crunches, and he does comedy, and he's a nice guy, and he's good enough. I don't know how great he is. He's probably fucking Dave Chappelle. Who knows? And then the next thing you know, now there's going to be a rush to find more Matt Rifes. They're like, where is my next fucking Matt Rife? And then they'll find a whole bunch of Matt Rifes, and it'll fucking be a Matt Rife bubble, and then the Matt Rife bubble will crash because there's only one Jesus Christ Matt Rife. There's only one Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's essentially what it is.
That makes perfect sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what it is, Jesse. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So it started out as, who doesn't want to buy a house? Everyone wants a house. Houses are good. It's the American dream, actually, to have a house, picket fence. You know, every time we go to a city, Jared goes, I could get down here. I could manifest here. I could see myself manifesting right here.
I love doing that shit.
Yeah, we'll be in a city. He sees the house. He's like, I could get down right here.
You give me one weeping willow, I'll live in your city.
Yeah, I get a little Zendaya-looking chick right here in the backyard, cooking, raising tomatoes. He comes out in his fucking comfortable slippers, makes a run to the store, and takes off his house shoes, but slips on his Mr. Roger driving shoes.
Get some Wagyu burgers.
Yeah, go get some Wagyu burgers, pick up some ice cubes in a bag.
Some
shish
kebabs.
Yeah,
on the
get
grill.
ready and having a little cookout tomorrow. Having some friends over.
Invite you over.
Having a It's just every kid's barbecue from this generation is just going to look like a community college advertisement. I mean, they're so diverse, these kids. You look at his friend group, when he has a cookout, it's really going to look like a Benetton ad. It's going to look like, is this a United Nations meeting or are these just Jared's friends? Why don't they have a security council vote while they're here?
Seriously.
It's a good joke. That you see, we don't appeal to a lot of people. Why don't they have a security council vote while they're here is a great line. But if you think fans are going to get it, you got another thing coming.
No, because we weren't.
Bleep it.
We weren't.
Bleep that. And cover my mouth.
I got you.
It's truth. It's the truth. I was talking. Shout out to Tim Dillon. And he said it's true. He says it's two. You got things that go either big or good. He's right. It's like you either become Kia and you sell a whole bunch of them shits, or you're Rolls Royce. And that was the example Tim Dillon gave. And I was like, that's a great point. It's like, Rolls Royce sells like what, 4,000 a year. They cost like $400,000. But Kias, they're just flying out. They're shitting those out.
Quantity
It's
over
like
quality.
they're just pushing those things out of the fucking American capitalist pussy, like a Irish Catholic girl trying to out reproduce
It's a
Protestants.
C-section of cars.
Yeah, I mean they're just pushing those fucking mediocre shitheads out, waterheads, one by one, and they're good enough. A Kia will get you around. LeBron drives one. I love him. Don't you love him in the Kia commercials? How many Kias do you think LeBron has? You think LeBron would rather be seen in a Kia? I mean, it's funny when you see LeBron in a Kia, and they're just going, hey, black people, here's one of your idols. Here's something a lot of you can afford. Get it.
Get it. LeBron keeps his rings in the console.
Yeah.
You can too.
Yeah. Does LeBron actually drive a Kia? Now, if you think that Kia, the company, is going to allow that answer to be no, you got another thing coming. Of course he's got one, but do you think he ever actually hops in one? Can you imagine LeBron James? Let's be honest. LeBron James may be the most famous person on the planet besides Messi and Neymar, right? So you got Messi, Neymar, LeBron James. Those names, like the way he's marketed, like he's probably one of the top 5 most famous human beings on the planet.
And you think he's going to step into a
You
Kia?
think he says to his wife, let's take the Kia? You think he looks at his mansion for his cars? The guy's got a mansion for his cars. How many cars do you think LeBron has? He does not have 3 cars.
Probably 16.
You think he only has 16 cars?
He definitely has as many cars as many times he's been to the finals.
Yeah, dog, at least. LeBron James has, I would probably say 40, 50, 60. You know how many cars does Jay Leno have? 160? Seinfeld, like 100. Dude, buying a car for them is like, hey, you want a sandwich? What do you guys want to eat tonight? It's like, you want to get a pizza? They're like, you know what? Tomorrow, I want to go get a Porsche. So he might.
Let me get a number 4 series. Yeah.
Imagine him just perusing, right? He can't even see the cars because he has to look past. He's got to look over the staff that takes care of the cars.
Go back up to that picture?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so uncomfortable. He looks like he's being kidnapped.
You know when the camera stops rolling, he goes, "Get me out of this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm about to vomit. Get me out of it." I think you know how like porn actors have like a buffer to blow them while they're off. Just to get. I bet you like he has like a Porsche or a Lambo right next to like when to get out. He goes, ugh, and he gets in a Lambo just like all right, just to keep himself fucking cool. And then when it's the time to shoot, he hops back into Kia, and there's only a certain amount he can take, and then he like cools off right in the fucking
Breathes
Lambo.
into a lunch bag.
He gets right into it. Yeah, he's breathe. Then he gets out. He gets in the Lambo, and he fucking breathes in. He goes, never again. God, that was a nightmare. Fuck. For a moment, it felt like I wasn't LeBron James. That's not a good feeling.
Gets in the Kia, passes out. They have to bring him back with a Cohiba.
Yeah, I imagine if you're LeBron James, having one moment that feels like you're not LeBron James, probably terrifying. It's enough to it. And you know what can invoke that feeling? I'm no psychiatrist, but I think one of the things that could probably invoke that feeling the most is sitting in a Kia. Sitting in a Kia. So yeah, could you just picture him perusing all his cars? His Porsche, Lambo, Tesla X Plaid? Nah, not tonight. Me and my wife were going to Ocean Prime in Miami. Nah, no, I feel like it doesn't have the right feel. But look at that sensible $45,000 Kia SUV. I think that me and my queen, that would be nice to roll up in that.
Yeah, that's going to be perfect. I mean, my watch is worth more than this car, but it's going to be perfect.
I bet you he's got like a body double that drives one or something with the tint on. And Kia made like it was part of the deal. Like they have to have like what dude who looks like LeBron drive one Kia with tinted windows, and then just like a loudspeaker on going, I'm LeBron James. I'm in a Kia. You see me. I'm in this Kia. They don't lie. They don't lie to you in the ad. It's amazing. It's amazing how products can pay people who are actually the opposite of the product to market their product. And I always go back to that Sprite example because it's just my favorite. I mean, he may be the best athlete ever, all around, like ever. So it's just funny. Like Sprite is just not part of his diet. You can't not miss games and drink Sprite on a regular basis. You just can't. You just can't do it. Anyhow, I mean, we digress, but it's all related. It's all related to the fact that you have to know that LeBron's in the Sprite commercial to convince you to drink something that eventually will kill you. And if you don't, it's on you because of freedom, baby. And I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Because what's the other solution, right? Some nanny state where they constantly look after you.
Monitor you.
Yeah, like an overprotective parent. That's no fun. A parent that doesn't let you sneak out of the basement door and finger bang a girl on the steps at night.
Yeah.
Or under the bleachers. That's no fun.
Because if not, you would have a horrible life. And there would be no fun. And Bruce Springsteen wouldn't have half his catalog.
He would not even be a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Bruce Springsteen is a multi-gazillionaire and has all that music because, union workers got disbanded. Right? Doesn't he have all those like working class songs of like that are supposed to be the blues? Like, I'm just sitting here, no job, and now I'm on the street. And I'm kind of make ends meet working at the iron mill. So like, yeah, it's the same thing you said, if we're going to represent capitalism, I mean, it's like, hey, not only does it foster innovation, but it the hardships of it, the dark side of capitalism creates artists. You're never going to have Jay-Z come out of fucking a nanny state like Sweden. It's never going to happen. You're never going to have that. You need a place like America where you sink or swim, where you get shot dead in the street, or you're a gazillionaire. We can't have this middle nanny state shit. Mm-hmm. No art's born there. You ever go see a fucking Swedish band? What do they got going on? ABBA? You want to go see ABBA?
No one wants to see that.
No, you want to see the Beatles, where they come, where they couldn't even afford dental work. Where'd they come from? Liverpool? They crawled out of some fucking mud pile.
I want to see
of
Wu-Tang.
beans and fried fish.
I want to see Wu-Tang. That's what I want to see.
Now, would Wu-Tang be possible if there wasn't poverty and disenfranchisement and all these things that capitalism creates?
No.
You
can't have a comfortable bed in jail
No.
and rap about killing a nigga.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't want to live in that world, dog. I don't want to live in the world of safety and moderation and regulation and empathy. I want to live in the rules of the jungle. I want to live in a dog-eat-dog world. I want to live in a dominator-be-dominated world. I want to live in a jail basketball game. That's what I want to live in, where there's no carrying. I want to live in a jail basketball game where carrying is a bigger offense than an elbow to the face. Because it's the closest to nature. And that's what we're getting at here. is that, these nannies came in and said, hey, this is a time we need to really look at the greed with bankers and Wall Street and all this stuff, and how they just keep going and going and going, and how we need to regulate it, perhaps, and there needs to be more transparency. And I like to call that victim blaming. I like that to go. That's essentially a cop going, so what were you wearing that made him do what he did? It's victim blaming. It's victim blaming. They provided a service. Like, seriously, I want to ask a question. Would there have been a housing crisis if people didn't want to buy houses? Would there be a fentanyl problem if people didn't want to get high on fentanyl? I'm asking you a question. You can answer it however you want. You can answer it truthfully or dishonestly. Because we know what the truth is. The truth is there would be no housing crisis. So why are we blaming these beautiful institutions, these altruistic, socially conscious institutions that just want to provide homes? They want to home the homeless. That's what they were doing. Essentially, they were giving homes. To people who couldn't afford homes. That sounds like a social program to me.
Sounds like charity.
That sounds like charity to me. They were giving homes to people who couldn't afford homes. Is there not a more beautiful sentiment? What's the difference between, AOC saying we got to get people off the street and we have to house the homeless, and JP Morgan Chase going, yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
We think that it's oppressive to check to see if they can afford it. That's discrimination. Why would we discriminate against people based on their income?
They're already homeless. They've been through it enough.
We want people who have roofs over their heads. That's essentially what it was. So this whole thing that happened afterwards, this is just some sort of like government conspiracy, again, of like, I don't know, whether it's Soros got his hands on this. I don't know what to make of this. Maybe this is a Clinton Foundation thing, but this whole government sort of giving a black eye to the banking industry, First of all, they bailed them out. That was the right thing to do, to bail them out with our money. That was the right thing to do.
When a hero needs help, you come running.
Yeah, because, like Dave Chappelle says, when a hero stumbles, cowards rejoice.
Yes.
And, it's just fun to watch him up there going like, oh, what are you talking? Thanks, Samuel Clemens. Now get back to the dick jokes.
Yeah. It's very fun. It's very funny to watch a man pontificate on life and politics while he's wearing a straw hat and an AC/DC shirt.
When a hero stumbles, when a hero stumbles, a coward rejoice. Shut the fuck up.
You're wearing $5,000 Jordans, dog. Those words are not supposed to be coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, dog, you got on designer shoes. You live in fucking Ohio around all Blanquitos. You got no Trump in your life. Talk about the baby in the hood late at night.
Exactly.
One of the best jokes of all time. I'm not talking to you, you British AI bitch.
So basically what we're saying is we don't want to hear about the bank collapse where you have spikes on your shoulders.
Exactly. It's just not. You look like
You look like the next Mad Max movie.
You look like you're a road warrior. It's still funny that he wanted to punch you in the face. I think it's because your angels were irritating his demons.
That's fire.
Yeah, that is
fire. You should
fire.
said that to your friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got to say, I'm not like other people. I'm going to admit where I got it from.
Okay, go ahead.
Denzel Washington. I think Denzel Washington was the one that said, sometimes people don't like you because your angels irritate their demons, which is a good one.
Your presence triggers some of their past
right.
traumas that
It's
they're
like
trying to put in their basement.
Yeah, because he's an arrogant, like he's in his final form. Let's be honest. Dave Chappelle's in his final form right now. He's running around, I'm the greatest, they're going to write books. And he's like drunk, falling over himself. I'm the greatest. And he's up there on stage giving like college lectures. They're enthralling. They're intriguing because he's got so much talent and so much of that it.
And his mother's really smart. She was a professor.
He's a brilliant genius.
Yeah.
And he's the funny. When he wants to be funny, he can turn it on whenever he wants. So it's easy to get arrogant when you're that gifted. He was gifted too. It's not just he worked hard. Let's be honest.
At
He's
14?
he's gifted. It's talent.
Taking over the stand-up game?
Look, it's gift. He did also work hard. I'm not taking anything away, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that work hard. Now, if you do work hard, you will make it because there is no standard anymore. Talent doesn't matter. But it used to be talent. I mean, it's just people saw him. You're staring at him like he's just so fucking funny, right? So obviously, with that and success, I think you get a little comfortable, you get a little arrogant, and you just kind of go like, I'm going to do this now because people are going to listen. You are Dave Chappelle, so people are going to sit through your 2-hour fucking lecture, your special that should have been called Dear Trans People. They're going to listen to it. And I'm not saying there wasn't parts of it that I enjoyed, but let's be honest, it's not his funniest stuff. This is his, and this happens to great comedians at the end. George Carlin, you saw the last special he did? I was like, Jesus Christ. Should have been called Asshole.
Yeah.
He was just like, everything sucks.
I thought he
Everything's
was
shit.
I thought he was one of Jeff Dunham's puppets.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it should have just been called grouch. It should have just been called surly, almost dead guy. It's almost sad to see, because nobody wants to retire with grace. I think Soder said that on a podcast. Nobody wants to go away. Nobody wants to open up that jazz club. I'll invest, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll be older than you at that time. I may be in my 80s.
What are you talking about? You're going to invest. You're going to open.
No, I'm saying Jay Harvin's the jazz club.
No, you're going to open for the band.
Oh. And that's true, too. I'll just wheel myself out there. God, that's a nightmare to think about. If I'm still trying to do stand-up, you know what kind of nightmare it must be to be a single 60, 70-year-old guy? Like, who didn't make it big, and, like, just going to do comedy. That frightens me.
Why do you think Jay Moore is so happy that he got Jeannie Buss?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a frightening thought. Just like getting out there and and you got that old guy look in your face of terror, and you're trying to be funny, and you know that this is the only reprieve you have from your one-bedroom reminder of your failures. Every day you're just looking at 4 walls of mediocrity. Every time you turn on the TV and go to the bathroom, you become more and more cognizant of how little space you have in that little fucking fallen dreams apartment.
All you got is that stage.
That apartment of broken dreams. I think we're making some good points here defending the voiceless.
Is that a bad one?
Yeah. Some people,
One of those microwave meals. One of those former sponsors.
Listen, the banks are, they're an overlooked victim here. Nobody cares. They're voiceless.
They're a symbol, really.
Some people like to advocate for disenfranchised people. Some people like to look at the Palestinians' point of view. Nobody thinks about the banks. They're just as oppressed. They're just as shunned. They do a lot of good things.
They would try to help the little guy.
They
were the Robin Hood.
They were
not the app.
Look at what they do. They take your money that you put in the bank that you earned, and they go like this: taking this money, and we're gonna give it to someone else
Who needs it more.
and we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope that you don't want it all back. And listen, we can't live without that system, right? Because what are we gonna do? Keep money in the fucking mattress, right? You work at Amazon, you make fucking $8 an hour.
Yeah, that's why.
We're gonna put it in your act.
You know what? A mattress can never fail you, though. A mattress is never going to fail. A mattress is never going to close. You can fail your mattress, though. I've done that before.
Right.
I pissed in it many times.
Right.
Yeah, but the mattress is never going to fail you.
Right, and also mattress. Bleep it.
Okay.
Remember that bleep?
Yeah.
You see, I see. Yeah. So people are going, what are you talking about, Yannis? What are you talking about that the bank? You know what I've done really good in this episode is I've really been able to break this down for stupid people. I think I pretty nailed it. Because that's basically what they're doing, Jesse. Am I wrong? You're the smartest one here. Be honest with you. You want to know about life shit?
He's the most quiet. So of course he's the smartest.
I'm telling you, dude. He's a smart life guy. But as far as like numbers, he's basically like fiscally retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like mathematically retarded.
You forgot spelling too.
Spelling too.
Spelling's the biggest one.
But you read books and shit. So was that a good explanation for a bank run when I said basically they go, give us all your money, we'll hold it for you so nobody steals it or whatever. And here, we'll give you like just for giving us your money, we'll give you like a 0.007 interest rate because we're going to charge the next guy 6.8% interest. And we're going to give him your money.
They're just the mob.
Because he wants a house. So we're going to give him your money for the house. Can he afford the house? Doesn't matter. We get a commission on it either way, right? And if he doesn't, we own the house. We'll sell it to some other idiot. Or guess what? If the whole thing falls apart, you'll bail us out with your tax money. You'll bail us out. All this time I'm eating steak. Doesn't matter. I can't lose. It's a win-win-win all the way around. If this whole thing crumbles, you'll bail me out. And I'll walk away scot-free. And people will say, didn't a crime happen here? And you go, did someone steal something off a shelf in a bodega? I don't think so. So I didn't see a crime. All I see is people wearing suits and talking nice here.
I got to eat steak, and you got to raise your family in a ranch.
All I see is white faces in Brooks Brothers suits. I don't see no stolen merchandise off of Target shelf.
There's no crime happening here, but don't check their jacket pockets because you will find cocaine.
So essentially that's what it is. They go, hey, give us your money, and we'll give it to somebody else. And we cross our fingers that people don't go, hey, we want all our money back at the same time. And that's a bank run. And that's when that's what happened in 2008. People went, oh, fuck, everything's collapsing. They wanted all their money, and the banks got, but we let that all out. We let that out. We don't have anybody. We keep just giving people houses. We keep giving people loans. We don't have it. And that's what happened in 1920, Jesse, 8 or 9?
9, I believe.
29.
99. Yeah. So
it's horrible. Great Depression. That's when it started.
that's what happened. People get nervous. Things dry up.
Banks close their doors and people open their windows.
And they go, you go to the bank and you go, give me money. And the bank goes like this. What happened was there was a guy named Jared Hoven. Listen to me. Great kid. A lot of potential. He told, listen,
He said he wanted to be Spider-Man.
Look, I watched 8 minutes for this kid. I watched an 8-minute set. And this kid has the charisma. He's got the jokes. He's got the smarts. He's got the looks. So I'm saying, can't miss.
He has white women surrounding
He's
him.
got white women surrounding him. He went to college. He's got great parents. I'm going, this is a fucking no-brainer. He says to me, listen, I'm good for it. But I need to go out there. I need to go Huntington, Long Island. There is a 14,000 square foot house with a tennis court, basketball court, sauna, and chicken coop that I just need. When I'm living in this type of situation, I know that I'll be able to bring out the best comedy I can. And I swear to God, I'll pay you back every cent.
And also, we're going to add an Acura ILX to that, too.
Not only will I pay you back every cent, you can charge me more. This is how sure I am that I'm going to make. Charge me more. Charge me more than what it costs, and I'll get you back. And they go, can't lose. Can't lose.
Can't lose.
So you get to live like a fucking baller for 6 months on your salary. They get to go, hey, we got the commissions. We're sending out someone else's money anyway. It's not our money. I'm lending out Yannis Pappas' money. It's not my money. And if you can't pay it back, and then there's a run on the bank and everyone wants their money, then Yannis Pappas and Jared Harvard and Jesse Scaturo will give me their money. Am I wrong here, Jess?
Sounds about right.
It's about right.
Now, not in all cases, though. Not in all cases do banks get bailed out by the taxpayer money because you have the FDIC. That's correct, right?
Yeah, the Federal District of Dicks. Federal Dicks.
Yeah, the federal districts.
Yeah, they insure your money. That's basically the federal government going, if there's a run on the bank, we'll pay it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the federal bank isn't a company. They'll go like, we got your money, and we'll give you your money. We got other money of yours. We got other money of yours, and we'll use that money that's yours to give you back your money that we otherwise wouldn't give you back until we can work this whole thing out and keep it going again.
It's like asking for a charger back that you lent to somebody.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, I'll give you my charger. Just have it back in 2 days.
Right.
It's like, motherfucker, I bought this shit.
Right.
Mhm.
That's exactly right. It's a can't lose. The standard insurance amount is $250,000 per depositor. That's what you're insured to. So if you make more than that,
That's the baseline.
yeah.
They're not going to go over 250,000 if you have more than that in your account.
If you make 251,000, tough luck, bucko.
250,000 is like 96th Street for white people.
So this is the federal government. So you're insured for up to 250 grand for each account ownership category, and you don't have to purchase deposit insurance or whatever. So you just insured. So when you see a bank as the FDIC insured, you know, you at least have that peace of mind. When you go to Banco Popular or the Fifth Street Bank or the sandwich shop banking company. Not so much.
Yeah. Where that bank closes, the only thing you get is the lollipop.
Yeah, not so much.
And a pen.
That's why it's great to be a bank in Switzerland because, like, you know they got the money. Anyone who's going to Switzerland to put their money there, they got money. They have enough money, and that, they're never going to want to take it out because you never want to take unclean money out all at once. Because then you're saying it's unclean.
Suspicions rise.
So it's funny that they're called banks in Switzerland when they should really just be called illegal money laundering institutions.
With chocolate.
Yeah, with chocolate. And that's what they do. Here, take this delicious Toblerone and don't notice that we are laundering dictators, arms dealers, drug dealers, corrupt politicians, corrupt CEOs, corrupt people's money. And we're laundering it. We're hiding it for them so the government of their country doesn't go, where did you make all this money? And we go, we don't have that money. It's in Switzerland. You can't go look at it. And the banks in Switzerland won't let you look.
They're not going to let you look.
Because there's different laws over there. And those laws, and if you've been to Switzerland, it is fucking clean as a whistle, and it's a beautiful place. And
that's the main signifier that something is fucking wrong.
Exactly. It's too good.
Too good to be true.
It's the devil. It's the devil. The devil don't come to you looking like the devil. Comes to you looking like Switzerland.
Or a kid from Queens.
That too. So drug cartels hide their profits by flushing them through the vast global financial market using various methods, including internet payment platforms, cryptocurrencies, payment cards, and real estate. Yeah, they launder. It's called laundering. It's called cleaning dirty money. Cleaning dirty money. Go, where's those money? Hey, so I'm a real estate investor. I have a pizza shop. Wow, you got a pizza shop. Your pizza shop does fucking good. And then you go in there, it's just dead. We had, dude, growing up in Brooklyn, this was like a common thing you saw. Italians love stealing, right? Because they're just criminal people. So you remember the place on 7th Avenue that was just empty? It was like on 6th Street between 6th and 7th or something. And then, of course, there was Marco Polo on Union Street in Court.
Still there.
They're still there.
Yeah.
But Marco Polo, they actually got caught. So there's an article you can pull up about Marco Polo. It's too local for it.
Nothing about Marco Polo.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it. Come get me. They don't care. The mafia, it's all Russians now.
You could spell it anyway.
Yeah, you couldn't get to it anyway. We'd get to Marco, and then you'd spell it P-O-L-U. Pulu.
Yeah, we'll just be looking at some Russians dude real estate account.
But they got caught. Their mob connections got caught. But, yo, dude, for decades, you'd go by Marco Polo. It's a massive restaurant. It's big. It looks like a cheesecake factory. And it was empty all the time because it was just a laundering front. If anyone asks, yeah, we got all this money from our thriving restaurant business.
We do our business in between 12 and 3 in the morning.
Yeah, you go in there, there's just a fucking one Italian waiter with a huge gut and a comb over, like with sweat on his forehead and a vest and a black tie, just sleeping in a chair, like, and then you walk in there like, and then you eat the food, it's terrible. They like microwave some pasta and hand it to you. There was a couple spots like that. And a lot of these places were mobbed on because it was really credit cards put the mob out of business. Once you started being able to not have cash and you could keep track of everything, it just kind of put the mob out of business. There was no need for the mob anymore. The store doesn't have cash, you know. It's like everything's insured.
Italians
so you
love cash, yeah.
And then video cameras put an end to that, you know. And then, of course, every generation wants the next generation to go legit, you know? Like The Godfather. You don't want to get into this. Do something else. But essentially, everyone's a criminal. It's just either legal criminals or illegal criminals. When you really analyze it, you're going, what's the difference?
Really, yeah.
What's the difference between a bank and a loan shark? Because a bank won't break your legs. I guess that's the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, truly, what's the difference, Jesse, between a loan shark and a bank?
Yeah, they won't break your legs.
They won't break your legs.
And they're doing it legally.
Yeah, meaning they won't break your legs.
And I don't think they charge you like loan sharks will charge you a ton of interest, right?
Hey, well, yeah, you can't go to a bank. So what do you want from me?
Bank will take your house. Loan shark will take your life.
That's right.
Loan shark goes, you want this money to gamble? And you go, I'm telling you, Vinny, I'm telling you this horse. I got a good feeling about this horse. He goes, okay, here's the deal. I'll give it to you. It's a 16-point VIG or whatever. I don't know what VIG means. It just sounds good. 16-point VIG. If you don't give us the VIG, I fuck your wife. I take your house. I enslave your kid. And you work for me for the rest of your life. And he goes, I tell you, I got a good feeling on this horse. That's because the guy's got an addiction. I think the thing that capitalism doesn't take into account. Now, capitalism is the best system. I think nothing will ever beat it. It breeds innovation. We're all selfish. And then I think we're complicated, right? We're selfish. We think about societies. So I think you need to mixed economy. A mixed economy is really is the only thing that will ever work. All right, that's it, and that's what I think.
You need
right?
a little bit of everything.
You need a little bit of everything.
You need a goulash of economics.
You need checks and balances, baby. You need regulation. You need refs. You need referees. You need, law. You need people watching other people, because human nature is just can get very complicated.
We get a little naughty when we get a little power.
And I think the thing that's overlooked is that people are emotional beings. We're not rational beings. Capitalism would work perfectly if we were rational beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of us can achieve rationalism. Some of us are born more reasonable. We have a different brain. Like if everyone was autistic, capitalism would probably work great.
Oh yeah.
Because autistic people, it's not that they don't like breaking laws. It's just they're so obsessive compulsive that if it's the right thing, they have to do it. But they're not doing it because they're good. They're doing it because they're mentally disabled. So the only hope for humanity to be good is if we can all be mentally disabled and autistic. And we should all just get lobotomies and take the emotional part out.
That'd be perfect.
Everyone's scared of AI, dude, but isn't AI the ones who does it best? When you ask ChatGPT, it gives you like a full, well-rounded, unbiased answer, right? But if I ask somebody else, they're going to give me a biased answer, right? Because humans are emotional. So I think the thing that capitalism, the flaw that it overlooks is that people are emotional, they're flawed, and because they're emotional, they're subject to corruption. But not only that, they're also not only the predator aspect, but prey. We're also stupid. We're easily manipulatable because we're emotional. You can manipulate people. You can lie to them, trick them, create illusions for them. You know,
you can kidnap loved ones.
You can kill people and have them say thank you. That's how the brain works, because we're emotional. You know, you could be killing someone and they're just going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And they keep giving you money to kill them because they're unaware that they're being killed because you have appealed to their subconscious. So until you can enlighten every person to this at all times, it's always going to be messy, you know? And that's why I just think banks get a bad rap, you know? A bank, JP Morgan Chase, just got in trouble and had to pay.
Big trub.
Big trub. They got in trub.
Trub.
They got in trub.
Not just one trub, two trubs.
They got in double trub.
They might have got in triple trub.
You know what they said? You know what, JP? They got the lawsuit and they said, uh-oh, we're in double trouble. So JP Morgan Chase, which happens to be where I bank.
Where I bank too.
Where you bank as well. Which is funny that they said the Zelle that I was sending you, they said that it was a problem with your bank, which is hilarious because your bank is my bank. I mean, I'm getting very scared for our country.
You know, to be honest with you, I thought you just wanted to stop paying me.
Dog, can you believe what just happened? You heard it on the phone.
I was
He was here to see. We're starting to become a banana republic. Things are not running well. So I'm sitting there talking to them, and they go, the Zelle went through. It's a problem on their bank. And I was like, what are the chances on the same day it's a problem with two different people's banks? And now I come to find out that they're saying it was a problem with your bank. And I want to call them back and be like, can you explain that to me again? And have them say it's a problem with his bank. And I go, you mean us? It's the same bank. But that's what they were telling me, dog.
Yeah. Hilarious.
It's getting a little scary out there. It's getting people, the quality of things is starting to come down. Standards for things are starting to come down.
And no accountability.
No accountability, because I think society is starting to, too much mom love. It's my special. It's too much empathy. We're going like, it's that French thing, egalitarian. You're like, we don't want someone to be better because that's oppression. It's like, it's all about same. We want everyone to be equal. It's like, that doesn't end good because people aren't equal.
And then you would just end up with a schizophrenic bank.
Yeah, you just don't want that. So JP Morgan Chase, who fucked up our Zelle payment, apparently also looked the other way, and often banks do look the other way when they have a
high-paying client.
High-paying client who happens to be a sex trafficker of children. Bringing a lot of money into your institution that you can loan out to other people. It's a valuable account. It turns out they kind of knew. Turns out they suspected.
Ooh.
And they got sued. I don't know about this sue thing. What is this suit? Like how? Because here's the thing. I don't want to sound like an asshole, Jesse Scaturo, Jared Harvin. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but let me tell you something. I don't know how this is not going to sound like I'm an asshole.
Get it out.
But if you're going to tell me I'm eventually going to win $75 million, if someone's going to do something bad to me, if I can have foreknowledge of that, I think I can look the other way. I think I could be a willing participant as much as I can.
Yeah.
I think I can put my imagination someplace else.
Just get a foreshadow of your future.
I think I can play the long game if someone's raping me in the present. I think I can play the long game. I think I can look at it as a job I don't like. I mean, is that wrong?
No, it's just mind over matter.
Is it wrong? If somebody said to you, Jared Harvin, you're a 12-year-old fatty boom batty, but you know who likes fatty boom batties? Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the deal. You're gonna be sex trafficked for a year and a half, too, maybe 2.5. But when it's all said and done, J.P. Morgan Chase, who was facilitating some of the payouts to you from Jeffrey Morgan, because you'd be getting paid. I think he paid them too, right? Like $100. He like threw them. I think Jeffrey Epstein paid them like an opener. He's like, here's 100,
Yeah.
here's 200, here's 300.
You want a burger, some fries?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Meals on me. I think he gave him a couple dollars, and I think he used this account to pay some of them, one of which he called his Yugoslavian sex child.
Which in Yugoslavia is just called a child.
That's called my wife there, I think. I'm joking. So the joke was there, I took it. Yugoslavia is a great place, law and order, there's no problems there. Yeah. And it doesn't exist anymore, but the former Yugoslavia is great. Hey, listen, that's
Well,
where...
I think a place that has the word slave in its name.
Slavic, yeah. Jokic is from this former Yugoslavia, so that's good. So is Djokovic. Those guys are champions. That's good. So this place has no problems. It's perfect.
Well, one of them's a champion, the other one's unvaccinated.
I mean, you know, where people say we're the most lawful, organized places, they usually always go Serbia. They always go Serbia. Anyway, so that's what it was, right, Jess? So if someone says to you, Jared Harvin, you know, but at the end, J.P. Morgan Chase will be paying you in a civil suit $20 million. We don't even, it's 75. We won't even go 75. I think you can go to therapy and do a little EDMR therapy and handle that post-traumatic stress disorder.
To my therapist, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to my real estate agent right after.
Yeah, called cognitive dissonance. Jesse, you couldn't do any little cognitive dissonance? You couldn't black out and go someplace else while Jeffrey Epstein was having his way with your penis? Because I'd just be thinking about dollar signs.
Yes, he'll be going. My dick is just a brush. He's just
Just a
using it as
brush. He's painting.
Yep.
It's his canvas.
Yep.
Could you go someplace else?
Yeah, what dick?
Exactly.
Yeah.
One more time.
What dick?
I thought
He'd be like, I don't know what
he
happened.
said wet dick. I was like, what, you into this?
No,
What?
no, what dick?
Oh, okay.
My dick
I-
doesn't even exist. It's
Guess
just a
what? I'll
fantasy.
say wet dick. I'll get into it.
You'll get a wet dick.
Dude, if I'm
Yeah.
getting...
Well, it's easy for you because you can't see yours.
Well, it's easy. Yeah, now I can. There's a time where I can't. When I get to 225, my dick disappears below the horizon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my dick's like the setting sun.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't understand this stuff. Like the civil payouts, like what? A crime happened. So you're going to get money now?
People want justice.
And how do you determine what the amount is? Like did she have she had $75 million in therapy fees? That's an expensive
Did you
therapist.
take 75 pumps?
Yeah, I mean, how do you calculate that?
the banker's like, what's it going to take for this to go away?
That's pretty much what it is, right?
How can we get this out of the news?
But they don't. But it's still not out of the news. Like, can they get it out of the news?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
'cause
just stopped. Like
yeah.
once it's done. Yeah. So it's really a payout to like, yeah,
Shut this.
just
shit.
get it out.
Yeah.
Like Cosby was like, just here, take it. A couple other comedians, just take the money, take the money, just keep it out of the paper. Solved. Here's a
Yeah.
gag order. You can't talk about it. Take it. I've sold my house. Here's your money. Just shut up.
Here's a gag order to say that about the time I gagged you.
Yeah, it's all hush money.
Exactly.
I mean, the criminality is kind of it's the same anatomy. Criminals and both sides of the law kind of do the same thing a little bit, right? What's the difference? What's the difference between cops and robbers? What's the difference? You're a good person to ask because you got cops
Family.
And your family. What's the difference between cops and robbers? They need each other. Is that what it is? Is the difference that it's a symbiotic relationship like the Joker and Batman? I just wouldn't know what to do with myself. You're just too much fun.
Both of them are selfish. One of them is selfish for themselves. The others are selfish for their overall society.
I guess, yeah, and I guess the difference is there's something in the cop that goes like this, the prince, this is wrong, or something like that. And the robber just goes, what's wrong? It's all wrong. And they're both, is anyone wrong or right about that? He goes, what's wrong? Right? Because the robber goes, what's wrong? It's all wrong. Kid gets cancer. It's all chaos. It's all wrong.
Because usually the robbers have been the one who've been scorned by the system that they believed in at one time.
Right.
So they basically they both started off as cops. Then the criminal got wronged and became a criminal.
It's like that great line from the movie with the horses.
Seabiscuit?
No, not that one. They were
Aaron Brockovich?
No, not Aaron Brockovich. Horses, right? She's got a horse face. Doc from Doc Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Hollywood or Holiday?
Holiday.
There
Doc
you go.
Holiday.
There you go. With the, yeah.
I think Doc Holiday. I think Doc Hollywood
Hollywood's
is
a Chinese food spot on 9th Avenue.
that's a Chinese food, or it's a drag queen that reads to my daughter. Be a great drag queen name. Doc Hollywood. Hey, cats. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4. Skin-a-ma-rink to dink to dink, skin-a-ma-rink to do. I love you. Remember his line? He goes, some people want revenge for being born. It's a good one. Some people want revenge for being born. So they have so much hate. All they've experienced is fucking negative. They've been abused and stuff like that.
They need payback, yeah.
They need payback. They want revenge for being born. Like, why did you bring me here if you were going to treat me like this, mommy and daddy? Why did you do that?
And that's usually
No, seriously, I'm talking to you, mom and dad. Why did you do that? And I did the opposite. Some people do the opposite, right? You either go Batman or you go Joker. Some people go, I'm going to get revenge. Other people go, I am going to make other people feel good.
Be what you want to see in the world.
Be what you didn't have. And that's what it is. And that's all the banks do. You didn't have the money, they provide it to you. They are the change that they want to see in the world. They want to end poverty. So basically, if you're saying the banks are evil and they're bad, you're basically indicting them for believing, for dreaming.
And that's what the American dream is about in the first place. So how dare you go against your country? How dare you defy your Uncle Sam?
It's a cynical thing. It's you don't believe in dreams. You don't believe in J.P. Morgan Chase's dream for you. Guys, small business shout-outs. We love to give our shout-outs to these small emerging businesses. I love small business, and I also love Brooklyn Cannery, okay? If you don't like drinking them, you can take the can and stick it in your asshole. You can do a lot. You can grow a plant out of the can because the cans are made out of recyclable material. Mm-hmm. It's all natural. It's good for the planet. This part I'm just making up. I mean, don't sue me if it's not good.
It's biodegradable and biodesamenized.
Yeah, it's made by a couple of eggheads who care about the world. That's all you need to do. They're husband and wife, and you can only imagine the meaningful sex that they have.
Yeah.
Do you think they still get along after owning a company together? Because that gets tough.
They probably have sex in the rain.
It starts out good with a dream, and we're going to make these great sodas, and we're going to start this business. We're going to live in Gowanus. We're not going to go work at Midtown. We're not going to be part of the machine. We're going to start our own thing. We're going to
fight the patriarchy.
And then they have good sex, and they're like, it's all fun sex. They're raising money. They start their things. I drink one. I contacted them. I loved it so much, I contacted them. I found out, people are ordering, listening to the Yannis Pappas Hour. They're going to brooklyncannery.com. They're using the Yannis Pappas code to get 15% off.
And then before you know it, you're using a lambskin as a condom.
Before you know it, they make a flavor called lychee lemonade that sucks.
I actually like that flavor, so.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it's not for you, but it is for me.
Listen, some people like it. Jared liked it, but the other flavors are incredible. Okay, you got cola amaretto, ginger beer, root beer, key lime, jalapeno. And guess what? The ginger beer, 22 calories. I remember the key lime's like 20-something. The cola amaretto's like 42. I mean, it's going crazy. And
these sodas are so good, it helps him remember numbers.
It's natural sugars, monk fruit, stevia. These are all plants. It's sweetened by, it's not added sugar.
Yes, sir.
So it's a lot better for you. And a prebiotic, they're good for your gut. They taste delicious. So if you're having a party, just cut out the fucking Pepsis and the Sprite. It's all garbage. There's no corn syrup in this. Stop it. Just go. If you listen to this podcast and you're hearing this, if you drink soda, brooklyncannery.com, order the cases to your house. 15% off with the code Yannis Pappas. And let's keep spoiling this couple till they get a divorce.
Yeah.
What's their names?
Matcha and Lauren.
Let's do it till Matcha and Lauren become so rich they cheat on each other.
Brooklyn Cannery, the soda that LeBron should sponsor.
Brooklyn Cannery. All right. This is he's your namesake.
Exclusiveautoshipping.com. Jared Z coming out the San Antonio area. If you guys have any cars that you want to move without actually starting up the car and driving it, this guy, he'll ship your car nationwide, whatever you need. He has student and military discounts are available. Just visit the website, exclusiveautoshipping.com, then fill out the form or just call the number on the website. Jared Z, he's a good people, came to our show in San Antonio.
He did. He's a good guy. Exclusiveautoshipping.com. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. Here's how it goes. Paper for paper. You give him a cash, he gives you counterfeit dollar bills that he made in his basement. So everyone feels like they're winning. It's not real money. Your check's not a real check, but everyone wins.
Mm-hmm.
You get counterfeit dollar bills. He gets a counterfeit check that he tries to cash to get real money from. Everyone's committing a crime. The IRS doesn't know it because he doesn't have an address and he doesn't have a real business. It's called Minetti Financial Services only on this podcast because otherwise it's just called Chris's Cell at 215-750-3730. Who knows? He may be meeting people in random parking lots and buying History Hyena signs from them for a living. I don't know what he's doing. Okay? Then we got forthefree.art. That's it. Go to their website. They have music and they're from Hawaii.
Pretty much.
Then we got Jared's future wife, sporthorsefarrier.com, Sam Gubera, 864-200-9007. Now, this is only for a limited amount of people in the Nashville area.
Really small.
And even smaller, those who can afford a horse. So, an estimated 80% of equine lameness is huff-related, Jesse. I don't know if you knew that. You know how many times I've been sitting around, guys? I've been sitting around drinking my morning coffee, and I go, what is the cause of equine laziness? What's going on?
Lameness.
And listen, I don't even want to know 100% what's the cause. I'd like to know what 80% of the cause is. What's causing 80% of the lameness in these horses,
When I
man?
lay in bed at night, I think of aliens, I think of Jimmy Hoffa, and I think of equine lameness.
Equine lameness, what causes it?
Well, it turns out it's the huff.
Turns out you don't have a great farrier. Turns out your farrier may be inadequate. You may have an inadequate farrier who's costing more money in the long run, but is contributing to your equine lameness. This is the greatest niche advertisement that has ever happened. So I tell you, I have a solution for you. If you're in Nashville, like I said, and you're ready to have more money. You want more money. You want to be able to spend some of that money at a nice restaurant and not on your inefficient farrier. Sam can help you out by hiring Sam. You call her up or you go to sporthorsefarrier.com and you call her at 864-200-9007 and you pretend that you need her services.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really do, there you have it. Okay. Manly Girly Studios. This is the #1 podcast network that nobody is talking about right now except us because these shows are fucking blazing hot. Blazing hot. I've recommended these shows to 0 people, and those 0 people have told me that these shows are incredible, entertaining, good content. North Carolina culture is what they represent.
They're really running North Carolina
Yeah,
down.
I want to know what took them from Miami to North Carolina.
Maybe a tax break?
No, because it would be opposite. I think you probably tax more in North
Then
Carolina.
I can't think of anything, really.
What I can think of is that the guy who founded, what's their conglomerate called? Manly Girly Studios. The one who founded this studio, the studios, the network head. The network head. I can only imagine the network head of Manly Girly Studios. Parents has a divorce and one of them moved to North Carolina. And they said, which one do you want to live with? And at first he was living with mom in Miami. And he said, I'm going to try out North Carolina. because it's an untapped podcast market.
Yeah. And she has space in her basement from our microphones.
It's just a better layout for the pod.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dad's just got a little bit more square footage. He's got an empty room.
Yeah, we will have to film Casa de Thinking next to the washing machine.
Yeah, listen, right now, I want to help Mom out and all that, but I'm all about my grind right now. And Dad's offering me a couple more square footies. So, Mom, you know, I wish you well. Here's the deal. You got an open pad. If you want to bang dudes, bring them over in the hot Miami heat. It's all you. I'll be over there. Tirelessly recording episodes of QAnon to pull this family out of Kendall. I'm trying to get you out of Kendall, Ma. I want to pull this family out of poverty. That's why I started Manly Girly Studios. We're going to make it. We all coming out of the hood. So go to Manly Girly Studios, buy their merch, 20% off with the code WEPA. Can you send us some free merch so then we can wear it?
Yeah, they made a story of a shirt that they made and didn't send it. They tagged us. They tagged the show. Still haven't seen it.
I like the hustle, but it's like you got to think more hustle. It's like, you know what you got Jared wearing QAnon shirt. You know how fucking great that's going to be for the QAnon brand? All right. We also got Jared's favorite company. Tell me about these guys, Jared.
It's only my favorite company because he hates to do the read.
To be honest, I still don't understand what these people do. I still don't understand what they do. Yeah, I just don't understand what this company is. I mean, I don't understand. Who the fuck has a booth? What's a booth? What do you mean a booth? Does anyone go to fucking booths?
Have you ever been to a car show before?
No, dog. I go online and I buy a fucking Tesla. I don't know what to do.
So for people who go to car shows or go to things like Comic-Cons and you have something that you want to promote, hit up displaypros.net. They'll give you a nice little consultation. They'll give you 10% off your first purchase if you go to displaypros.net. Put in the code What's the Dealist. If you're selling cars, comics, pickles at a state fair, this is who you want to hit up for your business.
Listen, I just wanted them to make us a sign, and they didn't. So at this point, I mean, I don't know what you guys do. Just make more signs.
Yeah, now we have to get Ted Kaczynski's son to make us a sign.
Yeah, we got, yeah. All right. What else we got? Who's this? Oh, this guy got upset because we said his business wrong. I apologize.
Oh, it was, okay, it was.
What's his business? He's the new guy. Oh, yeah, this is the guy in Tampa, in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, MA Insurance
Is it
Services.
So
MA
it's
insurance or
Ma.
It's my insurance. And he came up with it when he was trying to find out if dinner was ready. So you got to, I love this guy. He honors his ma, right? What's his name? This guy's got to be Italian to call it ma. Ma.
Ma. I'll tell you in a second.
What's his name? I mean, I'm telling you, it's got to be something. Cavaletti, Pacelli. Let's see his name. My guess is it's got to be an Italiano. Where is he?
Hold on a sec.
We just got to know. Matthew Albani. That's Italian, right?
Yeah.
Matthew Albani.
Mhm.
Ma, I'm starting a business. Yo, Ma, what time's dinner? I'm fucking down here starting a business here. I got a website going. We got a fucking logo. So it's MA Insurance Service. We can offer a wide range of commercial insurance policies, including workers' compensation, commercial property, auto, professional liability, general liability, and umbrellas.
Also, my mother makes a great sauce.
Wait, hold on. And my mother's sauce is not to be beat. Now, what does he mean by umbrellas? They just give you a free umbrella?
Yeah.
Umbrella coverage, maybe?
Oh, umbrella coverage.
So he
Umbrella
covers
with-
everything.
So you can do all that. Listen, I'm not going with these what's the one on commercial? Allstate. I'm not
Prudential.
going with
Nationwide.
Prudential. These guys are out. I don't trust these guys. You know who I trust? Matthew Albani and MA Insurance Services. That's who I trust. You want to know why? Because I'm a kid from St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, here's the deal. I think you can be anywhere in the country and hire this St. Petersburg, Florida company. MA Insurance. I think they're doing great, to be honest with you. Check them out at Ma Insur. Oh, okay. So it's Ma Insurance Services.
Services.com.
Yeah, Ma Insurance Services.
Or you can give him a call at 813.
Or call him on his mother's house line. Or you can hit him up on the family landline. The family landline at 813-260-0338. And if Mrs. Albani picks up, just say I'm a friend of Matthew's and I'd like to talk to him, please. I'd like to talk to him about his business. MA Insurance down here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We appreciate you, Matthew, and good luck.
We got 2 spots open.
We got 2 spots open.
2 spots open, guys.
Yeah.
So if you got a small business sponsor, slide in there. Also, subscribe to our Patreon, Yannis Pappas Hour, where we dive into some of your favorite topics and further tear the world apart to bring it together.
That's what we do. And who dropped out? I'm just curious.
Oh, the
God damn.
what's his name?
Jesse doing the fucking Doctor Strange hands. You look like you look like you practiced for a drag performance.
It's just Nate Linder. I'll just call them all who will leave Nate Linder.
No, the traffic guy, the guy, the services guy, the Rob.
Beaver?
Staffing Beaver.
Staffing Beaver.
Goodbye,
That's it.
Staffing Beaver. I'm sure we couldn't help you. I think we did a good job by telling you should get into porn.
Actually, we think we got him shut down by ICE.
Yeah. And what was the other one?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, we sad to see you go. Anyone who comes, it's all good fun. I hope you get people to check your stuff out, and we really appreciate your sponsorship. And thanks for being a part of the show. Right?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being part of the show.